Yo, salute, Sir Early, North Carolina 252 region. Not where the baby from, not where J. Cole from, but where Sir Early, North Carolina from. And that's the 252 region. Anything east of Raleigh and Durham, that's where I reside. So, with that being said, we're gonna get into Michael Jordan dad. You know, he was killed years ago back in like 93 or something. You always heard rumors it was from Michael Jordan past gambling debts and shit like that. So they took, revenge and retaliation on, his father and shit like that. But it was never no evidence to support that or proof. You get what I'm saying? But it was these two teams and shit. You get what I'm saying? Larry Dimmer. Let me get his name correctly for you all. I did research. I did notes, jotted some stuff down. One of the guys you might know is DanielGreen. He's granted parole. He's going to be released in 2 more years in 2023. But they was both convicted. You get what I'm saying? Of life in prison. Larry Demery, if I'm saying it correctly, Larry Demery and Daniel Green. They were both teams. I can tell you, far as I know, Daniel Green is like 45. Okay. All of this happened in what, July of 1993. I was 12 years old during that time. No, I was 11 because I turned 12 in August. So I was 11 and a half. You get what I'm saying? So the daddy supposedly had been returning home from a funeral and he pulled over because he was tired and sleepy and stuff. So he was coming from I think he was coming from South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. You get what I'm saying? Because he pulled over in Lumberton. Lumberton is like a good 30 to 40 some minutes from South Carolina. You get what I'm saying? It's probably 20 minutes south of Fayetteville. You get what I'm saying? That's how close it is to the South Carolina line. So he pulled over to take some rest. That's far as what reports say. You get what I'm saying? And Larry and Daniel supposedly had spotted him in the car sleeping. You get what I'm saying? And they shot him. But one said that the intentions was to tie him up. You get what I'm saying? But one of the other guys just, blanked out and just shot him. You get what I'm saying? So his daddy, Michael Jordan daddy and shit, his body was found in South Carolina. Like I was saying, South Carolina is at least 30 minutes away from excuse me, I had got sidetracked from this phone call, but let me reverse this. Okay, South Carolina and Lumberton, North Carolina is at least, I say, 25 to 40 minutes away from South Carolina. So his daddy was found in a swamp in McCall, South Carolina. You get what I'm saying? They didn't even know it was his father. That's how long the body had been decomposed. So of course they did dental work and found out that it was James Jordan Sr., Michael Jordan's father. And after they dumped the body and stuff like that, allegedly, they Michael Jordan had gave his daddy 2 championship NBA rings and shit previous before. You get what I'm saying? So that was one of the items taken out of the vehicle, along with the reason how they got captured was because one of the guys made a phone call from Michael Jordan's daddy car. If you know, my daddy used to have a car phone too in his car. So those of you all have been under a rock. Yes, cars used to have phones inside of them. You get what I'm saying? But they making calls from the goddamn car phone and shit, and that's how they was apprehended. You get what I'm saying? So Let me go and read some more right quick, and then I'm gonna detail some more stuff. Oh yeah, and another thing, these fools was made a music video, and Michael Jordan championship ring was spotted on one of the killer's fingers. Like you can actually go, it's documented. You actually can go look at this shit. One of Michael Jordan killers was actually flossing Michael Jordan championship ring that he gave to his daddy. You get what I'm saying? It was two rings, championship rings. You get what I'm saying? So that's another reason how they got caught and shit too. The main reason how they got caught was they riding around on Michael Jordan daddy car and shit. Supposed had ditched the car and all of that, but they riding around using the car phone. You get what I'm saying? So you know how that is. They backtrack numbers and this and that. And everything came out to Larry Demerson. I mean Demery. Larry Demery is supposedly been the one that had done everything, and Daniel Green is supposedly be the innocent one. Daniel Green is the only one that got alibi saying that he was this place and that place. He wasn't nowhere near Larry Demery. You get what I'm saying? He wasn't nowhere near the crime scene, didn't have nothing to do with it. So he have a whole lot of alibis and stuff, but they was both convicted and sentenced to life. You get what I'm saying? So they was convicted in 96. This happened in 93. They was convicted in 96. So fast forward to now, and 2 years ago, Daniel Green had so much support and so much shit behind him saying that, like, yo, he ain't had shit to do with it. So you got different people interviewing him, and different people going back doing research, checking for DNA and all of that shit. Everything is checking out on Daniel Green end. You get what I'm saying? So that's how Daniel Green was. He granted parole. Daniel Green is granted parole. You get what I'm saying? He 45 years of age now. You get what I'm saying? He granted parole for 2023. That's 2 more years from now. So these guys been locked up since 93. You get what I'm saying? And they were sentenced to life. I don't know anything about Larry Denery, or however you pronounce his name. Let me say it correctly. I want to get this correct. Larry Denery. Yeah, that's the best I can correct that shit. Larry Denery. So far as I know, he's still like both of these guys is incarcerated in North Carolina, as you know. So all I've been doing research on and been coming across was that Daniel Green, he even did a DJ Vlad interview and shit too. You get what I'm saying? So y'all can catch that shit on DJ Vlad channel and shit too. His name is Daniel Green. He one of the guys that supposedly had something to do with Michael Jordan's father getting killed. You get what I'm saying? But everything is being pointed at Larry Denery. So I don't know what to say about that shit. You get what I'm saying? But they trying to say James Jordan Sr. met his demise because his son's gambling debts. You get what I'm saying? They said Michael Jordan was in Atlantic City gambling 57. He was behind in $57,000 here, over there. He owed money. So who's to say? But it was never like no evidence of anything to damn bag that shit up. You get what I'm saying? But so all of that shit is like allegedly and shit like that. It's no DNA evidence tying neither of these guys to the crime. You get what I'm saying? No eyewitnesses neither. All it is just these two guys going back and forth saying, I wasn't around. And this guy saying he was with me. He helped me down, discard of the body and, do something to the car. So none of these cats would have got apprehended if they wouldn't have used if one guy wouldn't use the goddamn phone. And see, both of these guys grew up together, childhood buddies and shit. So I think I ain't gonna really say I think. You get what I'm saying? I ain't ready to speak on that shit. But the brother been having people, different, like when you in prison and you write to several places and shit, they have different non-profit places, organizations and shit like that that's behind like finding out if somebody innocent or not. So from 93 to 2018, people been behind DanielGreen trying to trying to figure out was he really with Larry, or was Larry just adding him as an accomplice so he can take the fall with him? So I'm gonna show y'all some shit right now coming up. This is DanielGreen. I'm ready to show y'all. He's coming home in 2023. You get what I'm saying? But I'm gonna show y'all some shit. This is DanielGreen. This is the innocent guy, supposedly. This is the guy that has alibis and shit like that from credible people and shit. You get what I'm saying? So the guy that's interviewing him, wow, y'all listen to this story. It was two brothers incarcerated or something. Somehow they was found innocent. You get what I'm saying? So, they started some little shit just like I was talking about, to go around and, dig into your damn case, your trial, and, and find out like, how did they find you guilty? Why did they find you guilty? Are you innocent really, or whatever the case may be? So this is what I'm ready to show y'all right now. So y'all bear with me. I'm gonna mute this up and I'm gonna find this shit. You get what I'm saying? The dude, he gonna be in brown prison clothes. Of course, that's the prison attire when I don't know about the misdemeanors. I've been in them brown clothes. I done been in 6 or 7 different North Carolina prisons. I've been to prison twice. When I was 23, I turned 24. And when I was 28, I went to prison and I turned 29 in that motherfucker. So I've been released in 2010 and I ain't been back in the system since. You get what I'm saying? So the brown clothes and shit like that, that's like closed custody, minimal custody and shit. Green clothes, of course, is honor grade. That means like you ain't got to be under the gun. You got more damn privileges and shit like that. You can go more places. You're not under the gun. And I remember when I was in undergrad, I actually reside 10 minutes away from the prison that I'd have been to, that I was released from. I can actually open my door and hear them motherfuckers on the intercom. Child call, yard close or something. I can hear the guys pumping weights out there, the metal hitting the ground and shit like that, the iron hitting the ground. I can hear the basketball. You get what I'm saying? So I'm actually right here. So when I was in green clothes and shit, right, we used to can go out the gate. You get what I'm saying? Like away from the prison, unsupervised. Picture that shit. So I'm on the undergrade side, but the closed custody side is like 10 minutes away. You get what I'm saying? It's like on the same facility, but it's a walk. You get what I'm saying? So they'll release you out the gate and let you go to the other side. That's the good thing about undergrade, which if you ever see people in green clothes, that's downstate. I don't know about upstate and shit like that, but the southern states and shit like that, brown clothes means like, yo, you under the gun, you strict, you restricted, you can't do too much of shit. You get what I'm saying? But when you make it to them green clothes, you get what I'm saying? That means like you got a chance of coming home within 10 years to a year. You get what I'm saying? So they pretty much look at you as you don't pose no threat no more. You get what I'm saying? I know I'm gibbering and jabbing, but I'm just trying to, explain shit to you. But he gonna be in brown prison clothes and shit like that, getting interviewed and shit like that. So this is DanielGreen. I'm ready to show y'all. This is one of Michael Jordan dad killers and shit like that. This is the one that's granted parole. He'll be actually coming home in 2023. So you do the math, 93 2023. So they basically trying to make that motherfucker do. Why not? If he granted parole, why not release him now? You get what I'm saying? So basically, they trying to make that motherfucker do a whole 30 years or something. You get what I'm saying? And yo, do y'all know of is this a coincidence or nothing? But they didn't put that motherfucker in a goddamn this is currently they didn't put him in a damn a cell with the number 23 on that motherfucker. And he getting released in 2023. That's a coincidence or something, ain't it?
I wanted to give Daniel the opportunity to address the camera.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I've been locked up since I was 18 years old. Over half of my life. I'm now 43. And I was locked up for a crime that, James Jordan lost his life. I had nothing to do with him losing his life. I want to speak directly to the Jordan family and say to you that I know what you're going through, what you've been through. I've been through the same thing. Unfortunately, a lot of us have. And although I'm seeking for justice for myself, I'm also seeking for justice for you. You deserve to know the truth. You deserve that. And my family deserves it as well. Anything you could do, any way you can express your interest in your demand for justice would be appreciated.
Senior. I'd been watching The Last Dance on Netflix, and the part where it talks about the murder of Michael Jordan's father intrigued me. The basic facts about the case are: on July the 23rd, 1993, while returning home from a funeral, Jordan Sr. pulled over on US Highway 74 just south of Lumberton, North Carolina to take a nap. DanielGreen and Larry Martin Demery spotted the car. Green and Demery shot Jordan to death while he slept in his car and then stole the vehicle. His body was found on August the 3rd in a swamp in McCall, South Carolina. As his body was in a state of extreme decomposition, Jordan Sr. was not identified until August the 13th with the help of dental records provided by the family dentist. His body had previously been cremated by the coroner due to the lack of storage space, but his jaw and hands were preserved for identification. After going through Jordan Sr.'s belongings, Green and Demery realized that Jordan Sr. was the father of superstar Michael Jordan. They had taken other items from the car, including 2 NBA championship rings given to Jordan Sr. by his son. Green and Demery made several calls from Jordan Sr.'s cell phone, and as a result were immediately captured. After their arrest, Demery said that they had planned only to tie up their victim and that Green pulled the trigger for no reason. Both were convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment for this and other violent crimes. So it seems that this was a crime of opportunity and nothing more. On The Last Dance, it talked about the media at the time claiming that the murder might have had something to do with Michael Jordan's gambling, but no proof ever emerged. The whole case is so sad, and James Jordan Sr. was liked by a lot of people, and you could see that the family were heartbroken by this disgusting crime. But I think there is more to this whole sad affair. I don't have all the facts, but my gut tells me there is more going on. I think this case is just a move on a chessboard. The next part is just my opinion, but the people involved are pure
after fatally shooting Jordan, stealing this man's car, and dumping his body over a bridge. That's just you just let that dumping his body over a bridge. So Larry has been approved by a mutual agreement parole program, a scholastic and vocational program to free inmates. The letter notes that while the state of North Carolina does not grant parole to those serving life sentences for murder, Larry's crimes were committed before October 1st, 1993, when the law went into effect. So he's getting out on a loophole. Larry, who was 17 at the time, and childhood classmate DanielGreen were both accused of killing Jordan and stealing that man's car. Jordan's remains were recovered weeks later on August 3rd in a swampy area near McCall, South Carolina. During the murder trial, the men accused each other of pulling the trigger, but both were ultimately convicted of murder. Green, however, remains jailed despite his repeated attempts for a new trial. His most recent effort was rejected by a judge last year. I'm wondering, his conviction for first-degree murder has previously been upheld by 2 state courts. Lawyers for Green had claimed that he hadn't been present when Jordan was shot in the chest and had only helped get rid of the body. Prosecutors have maintained that Green killed Jordan as part of a series of crimes that included other armed robberies. An affidavit accompanying a motion for a new trial last year stated that Larry allegedly told Green's attorney, Christina, during a December 2018 interview that he felt coached by law enforcement to testify falsely against Green. Christina said the case against Green was dependent on the testimony by Larry, arguing he had an incentive to lie in hopes of avoiding the death penalty. The violent death shocked fans of James Jordan's world famous son, Michael Jordan, who at that point had led the Chicago Bulls to the first 3 of his 6 NBA titles. Jordan now owns the NBA Charlotte Hornets. What do y'all think, y'all? Do you think that this man should be released?